Hi, this is Debbie with the Food Prepping channel, and today I'm going to show you how to freeze rosemary and thyme. I've already showed you how to do basil, and I've got basil in my freezer, and the leaves are still as green as they were the day I put it in there. I hope you can see that this is all the parsley that I had left off of my plant. And the best thing to do for parsley's not going to keep very long. You're just going to have to keep buying that. But this was my fresh parsley. Now, I've got this in a jar with water. And in order to keep this as long as possible, what I'm going to do is take a freezer bag, and I'm just going to put that down over this, and this is going to act like a greenhouse effect on this parsley, and it should keep for about a week in there. Alright, that's what you can do with parsley. Alright, parsley is called a soft herb. There's a difference in soft herbs and hard herbs. Hard herbs are rosemary and thyme. Soft herbs are usually the ones that you put in your food at the very end of your cooking. Rosemary and thyme can be cooked from the very beginning of your cooking. So what I've done is this is the rest of my thyme that I have left out there. Of course, it'll come back next year, but it's all been cut for this year. And what I did was I washed this in water and sprayed it off really good. Then I put it in my salad spinner, and I spin it. Okay, whatever. I spun it, whatever. I spun this until it was dry. And now I've got one of the bigger bags, freezer bags, and I'm going to put this thyme in this freezer bag just like this. And then I'm going to get as much of the air out of this as possible, and that's just going to be done by folding it and then zipping it. Alright, and I'm going to write on this. Hold on one second, let me bring you right back. Okay, so like I said, this is thyme. This is a hard herb, so this can be frozen in the freezer just like this. And I'm going to tell you how to do this. Like I said, I've got this in the bag. I've gotten the majority of the air out of it. I probably could get some more out, but it's okay. I'll deal with it in 2 or 3 weeks again. Alright, so I'm going to put thyme, Thyme, and today's date, which is 11/1/14. So I'll know that this is thyme. That's going to go in my freezer. Alright, now I've got the thyme in the bag. Here's the rosemary, and this is like I said, both thyme and rosemary are hard herbs, and they can be put in your food from the beginning of cooking it. And with the rosemary, I've also washed it, put it in the salad spinner, and dried it. And now I'm going to do the same thing with it that I did with my thyme. And I'm going to put this stem and everything, even the little leaves that have all fallen off, just put it in your freezer bag. As many as you can get in here. Alright, that's good. I'm not going to worry about that little bit. Alright, and then I'm going to mash this down. Let me turn this down. I'm telling you, my kitchen smells amazing from all these herbs, because I got a little bit of basil left, a little bit of chives left, and then all of this rosemary and thyme. So I'm going to get all the air out of this, much as I can. I'm going to seal this, and then I'm going to write on here, Rosemary 11/1/14, not 1. Alright, now I'm going to put this in my freezer, and it's going to go in the freezer, and 2 to 3 weeks from now, I'm going to get this out. I'm going to take like a glass jar, one of my bigger, instead of one of the pint-sized jars, one of my quart-sized jars, and I'm going to roll over this because it's going to be frozen, and it's going to come off. Not so much, the thyme is not going to do it so much as the rosemary, but when I roll over this with one of my glass jars or whatever, this rosemary is going to come off of the stems pretty much. And then I will take this out and get all the little rosemary leaves out, and I'll put them in one of my pint jars, and I'll put it back in the freezer, and this will stay good for up to a year, if not longer, if you take care of it. So that's the best thing to do with thyme and rosemary. And when it calls for fresh thyme, fresh rosemary, right here you've got it. So you put this in your freezer, and like I said, in a couple weeks I'll get it out, roll over it with one of my glass jars, and get the leaves off, then put them in a glass jar, seal the glass jar, and put it, not, you don't have to seal it, but just put it in the glass jar with the lid and the ring, and it'll keep for a year. So if you like this recipe, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and you have a wonderful day. Bye.